Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Projection of planes. Planes are basically two-dimensional surfaces having length and width. Now, as was the case with the lines and the point, the possible positions of a plane with respect to the two principal planes of projections could be A. With respect to the horizontal plane. So, with respect to the horizontal plane, a plane can be parallel to the horizontal plane. A plane can be perpendicular to the horizontal plane, and it can also be inclined to the horizontal plane. With respect to the vertical plane, the plane can be parallel to the vertical plane, the plane can be perpendicular to the vertical plane, and the plane can also be inclined to the vertical plane. So, when the plane becomes perpendicular to both the planes, it can be the case if the plane is parallel to one plane, then that plane must be perpendicular to the other plane because the two principal planes of projections, that is the horizontal plane and the vertical plane, are orthogonal planes, are lying at 90 degrees to each other. So as they are themselves perpendicular to each other, so anything parallel to one plane must be perpendicular to the other plane, as is the case with the plane and can be the case with the line as well. Parallel to the horizontal plane must be perpendicular to the vertical plane, and parallel to the vertical plane must be perpendicular to the horizontal plane. In case of the line, if the line is perpendicular to, if the line is parallel to the horizontal plane, then it can be perpendicular to the vertical plane or can be inclined to the vertical plane or can also be parallel to the vertical plane. But in case of the planes, if it is parallel to the horizontal plane, then it must be perpendicular to the vertical plane. And if it is parallel to the vertical plane, must be perpendicular to the horizontal plane. In case of a line, if the line is parallel to the vertical plane, then it can be perpendicular to the horizontal plane, but it can also be parallel to the horizontal plane and it can also be inclined to the horizontal plane. So this is the difference between the plane and the lines. Inclined to one plane and perpendicular to the other plane. So if a plane is inclined to the horizontal plane, it can be perpendicular to the vertical plane. Second, if it is inclined to the vertical plane, then it can be perpendicular to the horizontal plane. So these are the cases. Then the fourth one is inclined to both planes. So that type of plane which will be inclined to both the planes will be called oblique planes. So let's see one by one. Now this is the case of a plane which is perpendicular to both the planes in this case or at this instant. Now you can see that this plane is basically two-dimensional. Now if it is perpendicular to a plane, then its projection on that plane will give us merely a line. For example, projecting these endpoints E, A, D, B, and C. If you project it onto the vertical plane, or if you want to know the front view, because always the front view is found on the vertical plane. So projecting it with projectors, you can see that these projectors must remain parallel to each other and must also be perpendicular to the plane of projection. In this case, the plane of projection is the vertical plane. So these projectors, five of them, must be perpendicular to the vertical plane and they must also be parallel to each other. So you can see projecting these points onto the vertical plane in order to get its front view. Now, joining these points with each other will give you a line as the front view of this pentagonal plane. This is a pentagonal plane having five included angle and also having five sides. So it is a pentagonal plane. So you can see that if it is perpendicular to the vertical plane, then on the vertical plane you will see its front view as a line. Similarly, for its top view, projecting it onto the horizontal plane, you can see that and A or vertex A is in alignment with the vertex B, so only required one projector. Similarly, vertex E is in alignment with the vertex C, so only required one projector, and D would require separate projector. Now, by joining these projection points, you will get a line as its top. Now, you can also see that as these two vertices are in alignment and would require one projector, so these two vertices would be projected as a one point. Now, you will have to annotate them. Now, you can see the positioning of these annotations. Now, if you are looking into this plane from above in order to draw its top view, so you can see that the vertex A will be nearer to the observer as compared to vertex B. So in this case, the annotation for the vertex A must be written outside like this, and the B vertex, which will be the remote vertex if you are looking at into this plane from the top, because you already know that you can also draw its top view looking at it into it from the bottom as well. In that case, B would have been written here and A would have been written here if you were looking into it from the bottom. So this would show the positioning of the observer. Similarly, E and C, E would come out of the line and C would. So you can see by joining these points, you will get a line as its top view. Now, further, you can see that both of these lines, that is the front view and this one, the top view, they are perpendicular to the XY reference line. So this must be noted. If the plane is perpendicular to the principal plane of projection, then on that plane, its projection would be a line, and that line would also be perpendicular to the XY reference line. In this case, we are observing the front view, and this front view is perpendicular to the XY reference. Similarly, if the plane is perpendicular to the horizontal plane as well, so on the horizontal plane, its projection would be a line, and that projection would also be perpendicular to the xy reference line. Now you can see that its true cross section is pentagonal, and in both of these two views, that is the front view and the top view, we couldn't see its true cross section because its true cross section is pentagonal. So the first thing that you must remember is that while drawing, you must have to draw first the true cross section of the object, and after that the remaining projection would be drawn from its true cross section. So in this case, we would require a third view or profile. We would require a profile plane or the plane for drawing its side view. That profile plane would also be perpendicular to these two planes of projection, and we can draw the projection of this pentagonal cross section by looking into this pentagonal plane from this side or from this side, so we can draw its true cross section. Now how to do it? So this is called the profile plane or the plane for drawing its side view. So we can see that in the front view we were having its front view as a line as well as its top view as a line. So we want to see its true cross section or want to draw its true cross section, so that can only be drawn by using a profile plane or by drawing its side view. So you can see that projecting these vertices with the projectors, these projectors must remain perpendicular to this profile plane and must remain parallel to each other. So projecting these vertices onto the profile plane A, E, B, D, and C, and then joining them with the line segments, so you will get the true cross section of this pentagonal plane in its side view. So then we can draw the front view and the top view from this side view. So how to do it? Let's see. A regular pentagon of 50 millimeter side has its surface perpendicular to both planes. Now, the surface of the pentagonal plane is perpendicular to both planes. So we would see a front view as a line and a top view as a line for this particular plane. So we couldn't see its true cross section either in the front view or in the top view. So we would have to draw the side view for this plane in order to draw its true cross section first, and then to draw the other projections, that is the front view and the top view from that side view. One side of the pentagon makes an angle of 30 degree with the vertical plane. Draw its projection. So the first thing is similar, that you would have to draw an XY reference line. So as the surface is perpendicular to both the planes, so we couldn't see its true cross section in the front view as well as in the top view. So for this we would have to draw its side view first. Now for side view you will have to draw another XY reference line perpendicular to the existing XY reference line and would annotate it as X1 Y1 reference line. Now as we are given that one side of the pentagon makes an angle of 30 degree with the vertical plane. So we would have to draw a line making an angle of 30 degree with this new XY reference line. Now place one of the edge because one side of the pentagon makes an angle of 30 degree. So draw one of its side on this line. Now this side is making an angle of 30 degree. After drawing this side on this 30-degree line, then just after that, just complete a regular pentagon. A regular pentagon, and each side of the pentagon is given 50 millimeter. So first draw a 50 millimeter side on this 30-degree inclined line, and after that, with the help of the protractor, or as you have drawn how to draw a regular polygons with the help of the compass that has been shown to you and has been demonstrated to you how to draw regular polygon. So in this case, you will have to draw a regular pentagon. So first side has been drawn and the remaining four side must be drawn accurately 50 millimeter each side, and the included angle is 72 point something for a pentagon. Now you can draw now the side view and the front view from this. Sorry, you can draw now the top view and the front view from this side view. How to do it? As we already know that the front view would be a line as the plane is perpendicular to the vertical plane as well as to the horizontal plane. So the front view will be a line as well as the top view would be a line. So first of all, you have just drawn an arbitrary line, but keeping it perpendicular to the XY reference line, because as I have told you that the front view would be perpendicular to the XY reference line as well as the top view would be perpendicular to the XY reference. This distance of a line from the X1 Y1 reference line is arbitrary chosen, because you can draw this line at this position or at this position as you want to, but it must not go out of your drawing sheet. Now you have drawn an arbitrary perpendicular line. Now shift these vertices on that line, vertex E, vertex D, A, B, and C with projectors. These projectors must remain perpendicular to the X1, Y1 reference line and must also remain parallel to each other. As you can see that the front view is annotated with a single prime on it, and the side view is annotated with a double prime on it. So this is how to differentiate the front view from the side view. So this is the side view and this is the front. Now you have projected or shifted these points on that vertical line, and after joining these points you will get a line as its front. Similarly, for its top view, as the top view will be exactly in alignment with the front view, so you have just drawn an arbitrary line perpendicular to the XY reference line and in exact alignment with the front. As you already know that the top view will also be a line perpendicular to the XY reference line, and also the top view must be in exact alignment with the front view, as we have already seen in the case of point and lines. Now to draw its top view from the side view, first of all draw a line making an angle of 45 degree. Draw a line starting from the origin. The origin is where the XY reference line intersects the X1 Y1 reference line. So draw a line, an arbitrary line making an angle of 45 degrees. Now shift all of these vertices from the side view onto this line through projectors. These projectors must remain perpendicular to the XY reference line and must also remain parallel to each other. Now annotate them accordingly: A, B, C, etc., etc. And then, after shifting it onto the slanted line, then further shift it again through perpendicular projectors. These projectors must remain perpendicular to the X1, Y1 reference line and where it intersects the already arbitrary drawn line for the top view. Now, annotate them accordingly. You have shifted vertex A onto this arbitrary line and then further has shifted this onto the top view. And doing it for all the vertices and joining them with the straight line segments, so you will get its top view as a line as well. So this is how to draw the front view and the top view if the plane is perpendicular to both the planes. Because you cannot judge without drawing the side view that how much will be the front view, how much lengthier will be this front view line, and how much lengthier will be this top view line. Without drawing its side view, we cannot draw its front view and the top view. So this is the correct way of drawing the front view and the side view if the plane is perpendicular to both principal planes of projections, parallel to the horizontal plane. Now this plane is parallel to the horizontal plane. The surface of this pentagonal plane is parallel to the horizontal plane. Now it must be perpendicular to the vertical plane. Now if it is parallel to the horizontal plane, then we can see its true cross section, the shape of its cross section on the horizontal plane, that is in its top view. For example, for drawing its top view, looking at it from above, what is A would be projected onto the horizontal plane at this position, what is E would be projected to this position, D would be projected to this position, C to this position, and B to this position, and then joining them with the straight line segments, you will get the top view for this plane. Then, and the top view must show the true shape along the true length of its edges because the surface is parallel to the horizontal plane. So we can see the true cross section along with the true length of its edges on the horizontal plane. As it is vertical to the vertical plane or perpendicular to the vertical plane, so on the vertical plane the front view would be formed and that front view would be aligned. So what is B and A are in alignment, so would require only one projector. Similarly, the vertices C and E are in alignment, so also required only one projector, and D would require a separate projector. And by joining these projection points, we would get a line as its front. Now in this case, as the plane is parallel to the horizontal plane, so its front view is aligned, but this time it is parallel to the xy reference line, not perpendicular to the xy reference line. So if the plane is parallel to one of the principal planes of projection, so we would draw that view first. In this case, we would have to draw the top view first, because in the top view we can see its true cross section along the true length of its edges. From the top view, we can then project its front view. Now, how to do it? A regular pentagon of 50 mm side has its surface parallel to the horizontal plane and 20 mm above it. One side of the pentagon is perpendicular to the vertical plane. Draw its projection. Now you have gotten the hints that again it is a pentagonal plane of 50 mm side. Its surface is parallel to the horizontal plane. So we would draw the top view first, because in the top view we can see its true cross section along the true length of its edges and 20 mm above it. So the front view would come 20 mm above it. The front view would be a line, and that line would come 20 mm above the XY reference line. One side of the pentagon is perpendicular to the VP. So that side of the pentagon must be drawn perpendicular to the XY reference line in the top view, because anything perpendicular to the VP must be shown perpendicular to the XY reference line in the top view. Draw its projection. So first of all, draw XY reference line, and then one side of the pentagon is perpendicular to the VP. Draw that side perpendicular to the XY reference line, and already you know the length of this side, which must be 50 mm. Now this distance below the XY reference line is arbitrary chosen, because we are not given how much the plane is in front of the vertical plane. So this is arbitrary chosen, this distance. You can start nearer to the XY reference line, and you can also start away from the XY reference line. But this side or this edge must remain perpendicular to the XY reference line, as this side is perpendicular to the vertical plane. Now after drawing this side perpendicular to the XY reference line, after that just complete a regular pentagon of 50 mm side each, and annotate the vertices A, B, C, D, E. Now project the front view from this top view. As you can see the true cross section in the top view, so we can easily project its front view. As I have told you that the front view would come 20 mm above XY reference line, as the plane is lying 20 mm above the horizontal plane. Now as B and A vertices are in alignment, so would require only one projector. C and E in alignment required one projector, and D required a separate projector. Now join these projection point with straight line segments, so you will get this line as the front, as this line would come 20 mm above the XY reference line, because the plane is 20 mm above the horizontal plane. So this is how to draw the plane which is parallel to the horizontal plane and is perpendicular to the vertical plane. Had this plane be perpendicular to the horizontal plane, so we would draw the front view first and the top view from the front view. Inclined to the horizontal plane and perpendicular to the vertical plane. Now, this is the case of a plane A, B, C, D, E. Again, this is a pentagonal plane. Now, in this case, look at the distances of its vertices from the horizontal plane. Vertex A has this much distance, vertex B has a similar distance from the horizontal plane or above the horizontal plane. Vertex C is at different distance above the horizontal plane. Vertex D is again at different distance above the horizontal plane, and vertex E. So, as all of the vertices are not equidistant from the horizontal plane, so this pentagonal plane is inclined to the horizontal plane, but perpendicular to the vertical plane. The planar surface of this pentagonal plane is inclined to the horizontal plane and vertical to the vertical perpendicular to the vertical plane. So you can see that on the vertical plane, that is the front view, projecting the vertices, vertex B and vertex A are in alignment, so would require only one projector. C and E are in alignment, required on one projector. D required a separate projector, and when you join them, so you would get a line as its front view. Now look at this line. This line is now inclined to the xy reference line. Now, if the plane is inclined to the horizontal plane, so its projection on the horizontal plane, that is the top view, would show a deformed shape or shape smaller or larger than the actual size of the pentagonal plane, and also its front view, if this plane is perpendicular to the vertical plane, would be a line. But in this case, this line is inclined to the xy reference line. So, if the plane is inclined to the horizontal plane and perpendicular to the vertical plane, so we would see a deformed shape in its top view and a line inclined to the xy reference line in its front view. So, we couldn't see or draw its true cross section. So, for that, we would have to assume it first to be parallel to the horizontal plane or to be parallel to that plane to which the plane is actually inclined. As it is inclined to the horizontal plane, so we would first assume it to be parallel to the horizontal plane, and then in the next step we would make it inclined to the horizontal plane. Now let's see how to do it. We would have to make it parallel to the horizontal plane first and would draw the true cross section of this pentagonal plane along the true length of its edges and would draw the front view from the top view, and in the next instant we would make it inclined to the horizontal plane. So a regular pentagon of 50 millimeter side has its surface inclined to the horizontal at 45 degree. So the planar surface of the plane is inclined at 45 degree to the horizontal plane and perpendicular to the vertical. One side of the pentagon is parallel to the HP. Now, if it is parallel to the HP, we would assume it to be perpendicular to the VP and would draw it perpendicular to the XY reference line in the top view and 30 millimeter above it. So the front view would come 30 millimeter above the XY reference line. Draw its projection. So the first thing would be that we would assume it to be parallel to the horizontal plane because the inclination is given with the horizontal plane. So first of all, we would assume it to be parallel to the horizontal plane and would draw its top view. And in the next instant, we would make it inclined to the horizontal plane. So how to do it? First of all, draw an XY reference line. And then we are given that one side of the pentagon is parallel to the HP. This one side which is parallel to the HP, perpendicular to the VP, must be drawn perpendicular to the XY reference line in the top view. Assuming the plan to be parallel to the horizontal plane, draw a regular pentagon of 50 millimeter side each. After drawing this side perpendicular to the XY reference line, after that just complete a regular pentagon and annotate it. From its top view, project its front view as the front view would come 30 millimeter above XY reference line because the plane is lying 30 millimeter above the horizontal plane. So this is the front view. Now, this was an assumption step. The next step would be to make this front view inclined to the XY reference line, as we have seen that the front view must be inclined to the XY reference line. Now, similarly, take this line. For example, this is the locus of the front view. Now, remaining of the locus of the front view, you can draw its front view anywhere on this locus, starting from this point, and open your compass from AB to D, AB to D, making an angle of 45 degree. Draw a line showing its front view. Now this point, which is showing two vertices AB, mark it because these two vertices are the starting points, so they would come here. For C and E, open your compass from B to C, or from B to E, or from A to C, or from A to E, and cut or draw an arc that would cut this line at this position and mark it C and E. After that, D is already the end point. So you have drawn its front view making an angle of 45 degrees. Now, erect perpendicular projectors from its front view and also draw horizontal projectors perpendicular to these vertical projectors so that they intersect each other. Now follow the accurate sequence. For example, this projector is projecting two vertices B and A. So coming along this projector, where the projectors for A intersect this one, because the horizontal projector for A is this one. So this should be marked or annotated as A. Similarly, continuing on this projector, you can see that the horizontal projector would intersect this perpendicular projector at this position. So annotate or mark it as B. Similarly, this projector is for C and E vertices. So coming along this projector for what is E, horizontal projector for what is E would intersect this at this position, mark it as E. Similarly, coming along the same projector, you can see that the horizontal projector for C would cut this perpendicular projector at this position, so mark it as C. Similarly, this projector is for D, so coming along this projector, and this is the horizontal projector for D, so mark it as D. Now, after marking it, join them with the straight line segments, so you will get the final deformed shape. Now, this is the final projection, the final top view and the final front view. You cannot draw it without drawing the true cross section. You cannot draw or project its deformed shape without drawing this true cross section. So the first step required is the assumption. in order to draw its true cross section, and later on the deformation that would come into its true shape would be projected through these projectors or would come through these steps. Similarly, if the plan is inclined to both the principal planes of projections, so in that case, the first thing would be to assume it first to be parallel to one of the plane and then would proceed like we have. For example, a regular pentagon of 50 millimeter side has its surface inclined to the edge. So the first inclination is shown with the horizontal plane. So we would assume it to be parallel to the horizontal plane at first instant and would draw its top view first. One side of the pentagon is parallel to the edge. So this side which is parallel to the HP must be perpendicular to the VP and must be kept perpendicular to the XY reference line in the top view and 30 millimeter above it. So its front view would come 30 millimeter above the XY reference and also inclined at 60 degree to the vertical plane. Now the same side which is at the first instant parallel to the HP and perpendicular to the VP has been made inclined at 60 degree to the VP. Now how to draw its projection? So the first step is to assume it to be parallel to the HP and draw its top view first as we have done it. In the top view, keep that side which is parallel to the HP and perpendicular to the VP perpendicular to the XY reference line, and after drawing this side just complete a regular pentagon and annotate its vertices and project its front view from this top view. As the front view would come 30 millimeter above the XY reference. Now the second step is to make it inclined to the horizontal plane or to the XY reference line. It is inclined at 45 degree to the horizontal plane. So similar procedure. Draw a line. First of all, open a compass and draw an arbitrary line and mark it. Excuse me. Sorry, let's continue. So first of all, you have drawn its top view, keeping one side perpendicular to the XY reference line and then complete the regular pentagon and then project its front view. Now, to make this front view inclined at 45 degree, with the help of the protector, draw an arbitrary line making an angle of 45 degree, keeping at the locus of the front view. Start from here and mark this end as B dash A dash and then open your compass from B to C or from A to E and draw an arc. So mark this as C and E, and the end would be the D. You can also mark it by opening the compass from C to D or from E to D. Now, annotate it and then draw perpendicular projectors from these points, and also draw horizontal projectors from the vertices of its structure. Now these projectors, the vertical projectors and the horizontal projectors would intercept or would intersect. You can see that this projector is for vertices A and B both. So coming along this projector, where vertex A projector intersect it, the horizontal projector for A intercepted at this position, mark it as A. Similarly, keeping along the same vertical projector, you can see that what is B horizontal projector would intercept it at this position. So mark it as B. Similarly, this vertical projector is for both C and E vertices. So coming along this projector where horizontal projector for what is E intercepted, mark it as E, and similarly keeping along the same projector where the vertex C projector intercepted, mark it as C. Similarly, this projector is for the vertex D coming along this projector where the horizontal projector for vertex E intercepted at this position, mark it as D. So you have done it. Now the next thing is that the same edge AB that we have kept it perpendicular to the XY reference line now becomes inclined at 60 degree to the vertical plane. So just draw an arbitrary line making an angle of 60 degree. Making an angle of 60 degree. Now place this edge or this side on this arbitrary drawn line. So you can open your compass from A to B, from A to B, and shift this onto this arbitrary drawn line like this. Now you have gotten vertices A and B. For the other vertices E and C, open your compass from A to E, from A to E, and draw an arc here. Similarly, open your compass from B to E, from B to E, this B as a center, draw an arc like this. For sorry, this is for C. You can do it similarly. Open your compass from A to C, from A to C. This A as a center, draw an arc, draw an arc. Then again, open your compass from B to C, from B to C. Now this B as a center, draw an arc. So these two arcs would intercept or would intersect and mark it as vertex C. Similarly for E, open your compass from A to E, from A to E. A as a center, draw an arc. A as a center, draw an arc. Similarly, open your compass, open your compass from open your compass from A to E, from A to E. A as a center, draw an arc. Similarly, open your compass from B to E, from B to E, and B as a center, draw an arc. These two arcs would intercept like this, and you would get the intersection point as vertex E. Similarly, for vertex D, open your compass from E to D, from E to D, E as a center, draw an arc. E as a center, draw an arc. Similarly, Open your compass from C to D. From C to D, C as a center, draw an arc. So these two arcs would intercept, and then the intersection point would be labeled or annotated as vertex D. Now join these intersection points with the straight line segments. So you got the final top view, and then the final front view would be projected from this top view. Erect perpendicular projectors from all the vertices, and also draw horizontal projectors from the front view. These horizontal projectors would intercept the vertical projector. For example, look at this projector. This is for what is B, and look at this projector. This is for what is B and A. So they would intersect here. Mark it as B. Similarly, mark it as B. Similarly, this is this projector is for A, and this is again for A as well. So they would intersect at this position. Mark it as A. Mark it as A. Similarly, the this projector is for vertex C. Now coming along this projector, going along or coming along this projector, where the horizontal projector for vertex C would intercept it at this position, mark it as C or annotate it as C. Similarly, this outer projector is for E. Now here is the horizontal projector for E, where they intercept, mark it as E. Similarly, this projector is for D. Now going along this projector, where the horizontal projector for D intercept it, mark it as D. Now join all these intersection point with the straight line segments, so you will get the final front view and the final top. So you can see that you cannot get this deformed front view and the deformed top view without going through the first assumption step. So this is how to draw projection of a plane inclined to both the principal planes of projection. Similarly, a regular pentagon of 50 millimeter side has its surface inclined to the horizontal plane. So as the surface is inclined to the horizontal plane, we would assume it first to be parallel to the horizontal plane and would draw its top view first. One side of the pentagon is parallel to the HP. Now that side must be considered as perpendicular to the VP and must be drawn perpendicular to the XY reference line in the top view and 30 millimeter above it. So its front view would come 30 millimeter above XY reference line. The top view of the line joining the midpoint of the parallel side to the opposite corner is inclined at 30 to the VP. Draw its projection. Now first of all, draw an XY reference line, and as I have said that we would assume it to be parallel to the horizontal plane because it is inclined to the horizontal plane at first instant. So we would first consider it or assume it to be parallel to the horizontal plane, and in such a case we would draw its top view first because if you assume it to be parallel to the horizontal plane, then we can see its true cross section along the true length of its edges in the top view. So drawing the top view first, keep the side or the edge which is parallel to the HP and perpendicular to the VP as perpendicular to the XY reference line, and then complete a regular pentagon, and after that project its front view from the top view. The front view would come 30 millimeter above the XY reference line as the plane is 30 millimeter above the horizontal. The second step is similar. We will make this front view inclined at 45 degree to the XY reference line or to the horizontal plane. Now you can do it with the compass. Already these vertices are at one of its end, and you can take these vertices by opening the compass. And so you have already done this. Draw the front view inclined at 45 degree and project the top view through perpendicular projectors and by drawing horizontal projectors from its top. Now, up to this point, we have already done it. Now, the line, the top view of the line joining the midpoint of the parallel side to the opposite corner is inclined at 30 to the VP. So you can see that the midpoint of this side, which is perpendicular to the VP and parallel to the HP, joining the opposite corner D. Here we can see that this is the midpoint of this edge, and the line joining the midpoint to the opposite corner in the top view is this line. Now this line has been made inclined at 30 to the VP. So you can see that the midpoint of the side which is parallel to the HP and perpendicular to the VP, and the line joining the midpoint with the opposite corner is this line MD. Now this line MD has been shrinked or in a deformed uh, shape. It is this line now MD. Now we will have to made it inclined to the vertical plane. Now draw an arbitrary line making an angle of 30 degree. Making an angle of 30 degree. Now this is the line which starts from the midpoint of the edge and joining the opposite corner. So you will have to place this MD line on this arbitrary drawn inclined line at 30 degree. So open your compass from M to D and place it over this line like this, M and D. Now you can see that this MD line is basically perpendicular to the AB line or to the AB edge, to the AB edge. So you can see that the M is the midpoint of this AB line or of this AB edge. Now we have already placed M on this line. So draw a line perpendicular to this M, and you can see you can measure the distance of what is A from the M like this. Draw a to perpendicular line to this already drawn line, because you can see that the MD perpendicular to this MD line, this MD line is basically perpendicular to the AB edge, and draw an arbitrary line this perpendicular to MD, and you can measure this distance, which is this distance. Open your compass from M to A or from M to B and place this measurement over this line. So you have gotten vertex B and vertex A. For another vertices E and C, repeat the similar procedure. Open your compass from A to E for locating vertex E, from A to E, from A to E, and from B to E. For example, like this, for drawing vertex E, Open your compass from A to E. From A to E, A is a center, draw an arc. A is a center, draw an arc. Then open your compass from B to E. From B to E, B is a center, draw an arc. So those two arcs would intersect at this position and mark it as E. Similarly, for C, open your compass from A to C. From A to C, A is a center, draw an arc. A is a center, draw an arc. Similarly, open your compass from B to C. From B to C, B as a center, draw an arc. So these two arcs would intercept, and the interception point would be the vertex C. Already this vertex D has been located, so join them with a straight line segment, so you will get this new top view. Now project the front view, the final front view from this new top view. So project all the vertices through perpendicular projectors like this, and also draw horizontal projector from its front view. So these projectors would intercept and mark the relevant interception point. For example, this is for vertex. This projector is for vertex B coming along this projector. This is for A, B, and M. So B would intercept at this position. Mark it as B. This is for A, and the similar projector is also for A. So interception point would be this one. Mark it as A. Similarly, you can take a projection line or projector from M and it will intercept somewhere here, because the same projector, horizontal projector, is for M as well. Similarly, this is the projector for C, and the horizontal projector for C is will intercept it at this position, mark it as C. Similarly, this projector is for D, vertex D, and this horizontal projector for vertex D would intercept it and mark it as D. Similarly, this outer projector is for E. Now this horizontal projector for E would intercept it and mark it as E. Now join them with straight line segments, so you will get this. Also, as I told you, that take a projector from this midpoint of the edge, and you can see that the horizontal projection line for M is this one. So they would intercept at this position, mark it as M, and join it with D. So this is the final front view and this is the final top view. Now this is how to tackle problems pertaining to projection of planes. I hope you have understood this lecture. So that's all for today. Thank you.